Eric, thank you so much for taking the time to meet.
Oh, yes.
It's a pleasure.
Well, let me put my sunglasses
Oh yeah,
on.
perfect.
Okay.
So you're the director of the AI data center for Juniper, is that correct?
That is correct. I'm covering that for Europe, being part of a worldwide team that we have within Juniper that is focused on AI data centers and help customers towards the journey for an artificial intelligence data center.
So it's my understanding that a lot of data these days, let me ask that again. It's my understanding that data these days is stored on the cloud. Why is it important that companies have their own data centers?
So I think that there is a movement in the last few years that a lot of people went to the cloud, and what they realized is that the expense that they now have for having more and more data, more and more processing power in the cloud is becoming really expensive. So lots of people are rethinking their cloud strategy and going more towards a hybrid cloud, so bringing everything back into their private clouds. But the issue there is that some companies have basically dissolved their entire data center networking team that was managing the data center. Sometimes they don't have the premises anymore, so for a co-location perspective that's going to be really important to them. The skills that they don't have in-house anymore is also something they are really struggling with. And also no automation. And I think that those three aspects are really important for people that would like to move to a private cloud, and that's the reason I'm here. I'm here. I joined Juniper 12 months ago, coming from Dell Technologies. And Dell Technologies and also HP are all over the private cloud because they see a huge opportunity for them to invest in private clouds. And I think that the strategy that we have built from a Juniper perspective is all about that in the enterprise space. We also have the service provider space, but in the enterprise space, it's all about artificial intelligence. How can we help customers to make sure that they are operating as efficiently as possible to lower their cost, getting the reliability up, and making sure that it always works with the reliability. And I think that that is something that we do. That's something that we position and bring to our customers to help them.
So Eric, can you tell us a little bit more about Apstra, please?
Yeah, so Apstra is a software tool that can be used to manage the data center infrastructure. Apstra is multi-vendor, so whether it's Cisco, Dell, Arista or Juniper, it can manage them. And it's a different kind of way of setting this up, and this is called intent-based networking. So basically within Apstra, that's the software tool, you define your intent. What do you want to be connected in your data center? You don't have to worry anymore about the CLI and the configurations for the individual switches, because that's exactly what the software will do for you. For all those people that are now moving back to the private cloud, the knowledge is an issue for them. They don't have the necessary skills to build those configs in a switch. We do that. Apstra does that in software. It's a validated design, and it will roll it out to make it easier for customers to prevent mistakes. What I see happening in the data center market is that we want to reduce the human error. Human error is a big issue. Long time ago, I was an engineer at MCI WorldCom, long time ago. On a Friday evening, press the button for a new configuration on the switch. Guess what? Half of Europe without the internet. Those kind of things you want to like to prevent. And in a data center, the chance of making such an error is huge. Sure. So that's what the tool does, the software tool, Apstra. And what our future vision is, and we already have the first steps done, which we are demonstrating here at Zandvoort, is to also introduce on top of Apstra artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence that lots of people know from our campus and branch solution, Marvis, we also now have available for the data center. So Marvis is pulling all kinds of information out of Apstra, and basically our mission is to be predictive in the data center. So before an issue happens, you know that you can take corrective measures or let the artificial intelligence do it themselves.
So what is the value that AI is bringing to the Apstra software?
So basically AI will pull all kinds of information out of Apstra and does the analysis on it. So in Apstra now, what people can use, they have a very nice dashboard where they can see all kinds of things that are happening inside the data center, whether things are not cabled up correctly, whether things are for example, a switch with a high CPU load. Yeah, and what Marvis will do, will start to do the correlation. That's what a human does, actually. Yeah? And that's the kind of thing that Marvis does in the data center, and does it already for campus, where it has proven its worth by bringing down 90% of all the tickets that customers have, but basically the automation. So next to the fact that we have a very strong software solution to manage data centers now, with a little piece of artificial intelligence, what we will be doing in the next coming years, is to further develop that to have an artificial tool in the data center that will help you to be predictive in the things that are happening in the data center, to get the reliability of a data center even further up. That's the goal that we have from a data center networking perspective.
And so when we're dealing with large amounts of data and clients from all over the world, cybersecurity is a very important factor. How does Apstra and the AI solutions that you provide deal with some of these cybersecurity challenges?
My point of view from a security perspective is that, what we're trying to do from a data center, we're trying to ring fence a data center so nothing can go in. And we also try to do some analysis inside the data center to see what's happening, are there funny things happening. But sometimes what happens, and especially when an attack happens, when somebody's really clever, you won't see them. They will find a way to get through the front door and install a small piece of software to make sure that that small piece of software becomes bigger and bigger. And what you then see is that a certain flow, traffic flow, will start in a data center. The tools that we have, the flow information that Apstra now has embedded into as well, will help the total security solution not only to prevent stuff, but give the solution also information on what's happening inside the data center, inside the network, what kind of flows are happening, to give you more precise insight in what kind of things are happening. And that is going to also be crucial. So we help the security tools to get better insights into what is actually happening from a data center network and a flow perspective inside the network. And of course, what we're also working on from a strategy is basically to make sure that the integration between Security Director as a solution that we have from our security solutions to be integrated into to Apstra as well, so that the AI engine can pull information out of that as well. So there's a very comprehensive strategy that we have to automate data centers even further to bring down the human errors.
Are there any new projects or new ideas that you're working on and developing behind the scenes?
Yes, there are.
Are you allowed to tell me some of them?
Not yet, because there's a development phase, but I think it's all around artificial intelligence, because that is something that nobody else, as far as I can see, has from a management perspective. We have been feeding our Marvis engine for the last 7 years on information, so it's been learning already for 7 years, which is absolutely amazing. So the engine is quite knowledgeable, and we're doing that the same within the data center as well. We're learning the engine, but also taking some of the learnings that he has done already, because also in the campus branch you have switches, right? So similar kind of thing. We're doing that as well. So we're porting that towards the data center. You have Mist, Apstra, and Paragon from an AWAN perspective, and all those three together will be managed by an artificial intelligence tool.
Can you please summarize the difference between Mist, Apstra and Paragon, or the differences between these three services?
Yeah, so Mist is particularly used in a wireless and campus environment. In a wireless environment you have different things that you would like to measure. For example, if an AP is functioning well, how many users are on an AP, and is the AP overloaded, yes or no? And Mist is tailored to do that, so this is a specific solution. Apstra has a different kind of solution sets to manage a data center network where other things are very important, and that's why there's a different solution. And if you look at from an AWAN perspective, you have Paragon that does all kinds of other things as well. So those three solutions will be the foundation for managing an entire infrastructure, and on top of that there will be artificial intelligence to make sure that everything is visible for a customer if they have all three from Juniper.
So you've worked as the head of the AI data center at Juniper for 12 months now. What's your favorite part of your job?
Telling this story. I think about 14, 16 months ago, I've been asked to come over. I was working for Dell Technologies, which is also a great company. But what I found here is that it's just amazing from a technology perspective. I've been doing data center networks for about 14 years now, and this is the first time I saw something happen in the data center which we saw happening when the internet came up from a management perspective. And that's why I'm so enthusiastic to make that story to everybody known on what we do. That motivates me and excites me to do more and more hours a day.
Eric, I love your energy. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. It's been a real pleasure.